Mini Habits, Smaller Habits, Bigger Results, by Stephen Guise. Introduction. It was December 28, 2012. The year was winding down, and a young man named Stephen Guise was taking stock of his life. And he wasn't impressed. For 10 long years, he'd been trying to build an exercise habit. 10 years of starting, stopping, and feeling like a failure. He'd try to get motivated, ride a wave of enthusiasm for a week or two, and then, nothing. The energy would vanish, and he'd be right back where he started, feeling even worse than before. That day, he decided he was going to do a 30-minute workout. Right then and there. A pre-New Year's resolution. He put on his workout clothes. He stood in his living room. And he felt nothing. The motivation just wasn't there. A 30-minute workout felt like trying to climb Mount Everest. He felt tired, out of shape, and completely defeated before he'd even started. He tried all the usual tricks. He put on upbeat music. He visualized himself with a great beach body. Still nothing. The couch looked a lot more appealing. He was about to give up, just like all the other times, when a strange idea popped into his head. He'd recently read a book on creative thinking, and one of the techniques was to consider the complete opposite of your goal. So, what was the opposite of a grueling, 30-minute Mount Everest workout? He laughed out loud when he thought of it. It was so pathetic, so absurdly small. One single push-up. Just one. No requirement to do more. No pressure. Just get down on the floor and do one push-up. It sounded ridiculous. Useless. But his other plan, the big, ambitious one, was leading nowhere. So, with a sigh of resignation, he thought, whatever. I'll do one push-up. He got down on the ground, into the starting position. He did one, single, solitary push-up. And in that moment, without knowing it, he changed his life forever. That one push-up is the key to everything we're going to talk about today. It's the secret behind a book that has quietly transformed the way thousands of people approach personal change. Today, we're diving into Mini Habits by Stephen Guise. And I promise you, by the end of our time together, you will understand the profound, almost magical power of thinking small. You will learn why your brain has been fighting you every step of the way, and you'll discover a strategy so simple, so counterintuitive, that it feels like cheating. A strategy that can help you build any habit you want, not by mustering up more motivation, but by making failure impossible. Book summary. So what happened after that one push-up? Well, as Stephen was on the floor, he thought, I'm already in position. I might as well do a few more. They were rough. His muscles weren't used to it. But he did a few. Then he stood up, feeling a tiny spark of accomplishment. It was better than nothing. Then he had another stupid small idea. What if I do just one pull-up? He set up his pull-up bar, did one, and then a few more. He kept baiting himself with these laughably easy challenges, and every time, he met or exceeded them. 20 minutes later, he had completed a full workout. The very workout that had seemed like Mount Everest just a short while ago. This experience was a revelation. For a decade, he had been trying to conquer the mountain in one giant leap. He'd been trying to force himself to feel motivated. But what worked, what actually got him to take action, was a goal so tiny it was impossible to say no to. This is the central story of Mini Habits, and it reveals the fundamental misunderstanding most of us have about how change really happens. We believe we need to have big goals. We think we need to feel inspired and motivated before we act. But Guise discovered, almost by accident, that this is backward. Action comes first. Motivation follows. To understand why this is so powerful, we need to take a little trip inside your brain. You can think of your brain as having two key players who are often in conflict. First, you have the smart manager. This is your prefrontal cortex, located right behind your forehead. This is the part of you that's listening to me right now. It's the part that sets goals, understands long-term consequences, and dreams about your future. It's the part of you that decides, I want to learn guitar, or I want to get in shape. It's the conscious, thinking you. But the smart manager has a major weakness. It gets tired. It runs on a limited resource that scientists call willpower, or ego. Every decision you make, every time you resist a temptation, every time you force yourself to do something difficult, you're draining that battery. And when that battery gets low, the second player takes over. Let's call this second player the stupid repeater. In the brain, this is largely the basal ganglia. This part of your brain isn't smart. It doesn't care about your long-term goals. It doesn't understand the benefits of exercise or the dangers of smoking. All it does is recognize and repeat patterns. It's a habit machine. Its only goal is efficiency. It wants to automate as much as possible to save energy. So, when you repeat a behavior over and over, the stupid repeater strengthens the neural pathway for that action. It's like carving a path in a forest. The more you walk it, the wider and clearer it becomes. Eventually, you can walk it without even thinking. That's a habit. Your brain automatically chooses the path of least resistance. And this is the root of our struggle. Your smart manager wants to forge a new path? The path to the gym. But your stupid repeater sees the well-worn, comfortable path to the couch and the TV remote. The new path requires effort, decision-making, and a lot of willpower. The old path is automatic. Guess which one usually wins, especially at the end of a long day when your willpower battery is almost empty? The traditional approach to change is to try and overpower the stupid repeater with brute force. We try to use motivation as fuel. We watch inspiring videos, we make vision boards, we tell ourselves, come on, you can do this. This is what Stephen Guise calls the get motivated strategy. And it's a trap. Why? Because motivation, as he explains, is completely unreliable. It's based on feelings. And feelings are fickle. Your mood can be changed by the weather, a comment someone made, what you ate for lunch, or a bad night's sleep. Relying on motivation to build a habit is like trying to build a house on quicksand. The foundation is just not stable. This is why New Year's resolutions have an abysmal success rate, something like 8%. People start with a huge burst of motivation, set massive goals, and try to sprint up Mount Everest. But their willpower runs out, the motivation fades, and the stupid repeater pulls them right back to the familiar, comfortable paths of their old habits. Willpower, on the other hand, is more reliable than motivation. It's the force you use to make your smart manager override your stupid repeater. But as we've seen, it's a limited resource. Scientists have famously demonstrated this in what I call the cookie and radish study. They put people in a room that smelled of freshly baked chocolate chip cookies. They put a plate of cookies and a plate of radishes on the table. Some people were told they could eat the cookies. Others were told they could only eat the radishes. Imagine the willpower it took for the radish group to sit there, smelling warm chocolate, while they crunched on a bitter vegetable. Afterward, both groups were given a difficult, unsolvable puzzle. The people who got to eat the cookies worked on the puzzle for about 20 minutes before giving up. The poor radish eaters, they lasted only 8 minutes. Resisting the cookies had drained their willpower battery, leaving them with less mental energy to tackle the next challenging task. This phenomenon is called ego depletion. So if motivation is unreliable and willpower is limited, what are we supposed to do? This is where the genius of mini habits comes in. The strategy is not to find more willpower. It's to use less of it. A mini habit is, as Stephen Guise puts it, a stupid small version of a habit you want to build. It's an action so small that it requires almost no willpower to complete. Want to exercise every day? Your mini habit is 1 push-up a day. Want to write a book? Your mini habit is write 50 words a day. Want to read more? Your mini habit is read 2 pages in a book a day. Want to meditate? Your mini habit is take 1 deep breath. The key is that the requirement must be so easy that it feels ridiculous. Your brain, your stupid repeater, doesn't even register it as a threat. There's no resistance. Asking yourself to do a 30-minute workout creates a huge wall of resistance. Asking yourself to do one push-up? There's no wall. It's a tiny little speed bump you can step over without even thinking. This tiny action accomplishes two magical things. First, it gets you started. And as Newton's first law of motion tells us, an object at rest stays at rest, but an object in motion stays in motion. Getting started is the hardest part. It's where you face the most friction. A mini habit is designed to be the smallest possible push to get you rolling. Once you've done that one push-up, you're already in motion. Your mindset shifts. Often, you'll find a natural surge of motivation, the motivation you couldn't find just moments before, and you'll want to do more. This is what Guise calls bonus reps. You only have to do one push-up, but you're always free to do more. And most of the time, you will. Second, even if you don't do any bonus reps, you still win. This is the safety net of the system. Let's say you've had a terrible day. You're exhausted, stressed, and the last thing you want to do is exercise. With a traditional goal, you would have failed. You'd go to bed feeling guilty and defeated. But with a mini habit, you can roll over in bed, do one push-up on the floor, and you've succeeded for the day. You've kept your streak alive. You go to sleep with a win. This feeling of success is incredibly important. Most of us, especially if we've failed at goals in the past, have trained our brains to expect failure. We've weakened our belief in our own ability to change. Psychologists call this belief self-efficacy. Mini habits are a self-efficacy generating machine. By setting a bar so low that you can't fail, you start stacking up wins. Day after day, you prove to yourself that you are someone who follows through. Your brain, the stupid repeater, starts to recognize a new pattern, the pattern of success. This builds confidence and makes bigger changes feel possible. So, how do you actually put this into practice? Guise lays out a simple 8-step plan. Step 1. Choose your mini habits. Don't go crazy. Start with 1 to 4 habits at most. Maybe you want to focus on fitness, reading, and mindfulness. Your mini habits could be: do 1 push-up, read 2 pages, and think 1 positive thought. Keep them stupid small. Step 2. Use the why drill. For each habit, ask yourself, why do I want this? And then ask why to that answer. And keep going until you get to the core of your motivation. You want to make sure these habits are connected to your deep, intrinsic values, not just something society tells you should do. Step 3. Define your habit cues. A cue is a trigger that tells you it's time to do your habit. It could be time-based, for example, at 3 p.m. every day, or activity-based, for example, right after I brush my teeth. But Guise offers a more flexible option he calls the general mini habit. The cue is simply sometime before I go to sleep for the night. This gives you ultimate freedom and removes the pressure of a rigid schedule, making it even harder to fail. Step 4. Create your reward plan. Remember, the stupid repeater loves rewards. When you complete your mini habit, celebrate. It doesn't have to be big. It could be saying yes out loud, putting a check mark on a calendar, or allowing yourself to watch a funny video online. This creates a positive feedback loop that tells your brain, hey, that behavior led to a good thing. Let's do it again. Step 5. Write everything down. Get a big wall calendar and put a giant X on every day you complete your mini habits. Jerry Seinfeld famously used this method to build his joke-writing habit. He said, "Your only job is to not break the chain." Seeing that chain of successes grow is a powerful visual reward. Step 6. Think small. This is the mental game. You must resist the urge to raise the bar. Even if you write 1,000 words for 20 days in a row, your official requirement is still just 50. The moment you start thinking, I have to write 1,000 words today, you've lost the magic. You've reintroduced pressure and the possibility of failure. Your requirement is the safety net. The bonus reps are the fun part. Step 7. Meet your schedule and drop high expectations. Your only expectation is consistency. Celebrate meeting the minimum. Don't get down on yourself if you have a day where you only do the bare minimum. That's not a failure. That's the system working perfectly. It's keeping you in the game on your toughest days. Step 8. Watch for signs of habit. A habit is formed when the behavior becomes automatic. You'll notice there's no more resistance. You might even find yourself doing it without consciously deciding to. It feels normal, even boring. It's just part of who you are now. This is the goal. Guise also gives us 8 rules to live by on this journey. They're simple but powerful reminders. 1. Never, ever cheat. Don't secretly raise your requirement. 1 push-up means 1 push-up. 2. Be happy with all progress. Celebrate the tiny wins. Each one is a victory over inertia. 3. Reward yourself often. Reinforce the positive feedback loop. 4. Stay level-headed. Don't rely on bursts of excitement. Trust the calm, steady process. 5. If you feel strong resistance, back off and go smaller. Can't bring yourself to do 1 push-up? Your goal is now just to get on the floor. Can't do that? Just put on your workout clothes. No step is too small. 6. Remind yourself how easy this is. Your brain will try to tell you it's hard. Remind it that your only task is laughably easy. 7. Never think a step is too small. The smallest step is infinitely more powerful than no step at all. 8. Put extra energy toward bonus reps, not a bigger requirement. Channel your ambition into overachieving, not into making the starting line harder to cross. What I find so profound about this approach is how it respects the reality of being human. It doesn't ask you to be a superhero of self-discipline. It works with your brain's natural tendencies, not against them. It understands that we have good days and bad days, that our energy fluctuates, and that life gets in the way. It also gives you back a sense of control, or what psychologists call autonomy. Many self-help systems feel like a strict drill sergeant shouting orders at you. You feel controlled and constricted. Mini Habits does the opposite. It sets a tiny, non-negotiable requirement, and then says, "Okay, you've done your part. The rest is up to you." You are free. This sense of freedom is incredibly motivating. It makes the process feel like a game you're choosing to play, not a chore you're being forced to do. And over time, something amazing happens. It's not just your behavior that changes, it's your identity. You start with a mini habit of writing 50 words a day. After a few months, you don't just write anymore. You are a writer. You start with 1 push-up a day. Soon, you don't just exercise. You are an active person. The habit becomes so ingrained that it feels strange not to do it. It becomes part of the person you see yourself as. And that is the ultimate goal. Not just to do new things, but to become a new person, one stupidly small step at a time. It's a journey that began for Stephen Guise on December 28, 2012, with a single push-up. A small, seemingly insignificant action that sparked a fire of change, leading to a new level of fitness, a massive increase in his writing output, and ultimately, this very book, a testament to the incredible, life-altering power of starting small. Commentary. As we wrap up our look into mini habits, I want to take a moment to reflect on why this seemingly simple idea is so revolutionary, especially for someone your age. You're living in a world that constantly screams at you to go big or go home, to dream huge, set massive goals, and hustle 24/7. And while big dreams are wonderful, that advice often leaves out the most important part: how to actually start when that big dream feels impossibly far away. What I love about Stephen Guise's work is that it gives you permission to be human. It acknowledges that you're not always going to feel motivated. You're not always going to have endless willpower. And that's okay. The system isn't built for your best day. It's built for your worst day. And any system that can produce a win on your worst day is a system that can change your life. The most powerful lesson here is the redefinition of success. We're taught that success is about massive, heroic efforts. But Mini Habits teaches us that true, lasting success is about quiet, relentless consistency. It's about showing up, even in the smallest way, day after day after day. The person who does one push-up every single day for a year will, in the long run, be in a far better position than the person who does a heroic 2-hour workout once and then quits for 3 months. Why? Because the first person built a habit. They carved a new path for their brain. They built an identity. The second person just had a single, fleeting moment of motivation. So here's a simple action you can take, right now, today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for the new year. Just pick one thing. One stupid small thing you want to do. Maybe it's reading. Tonight, before you sleep, just read 1 page of a book. Not a chapter. 1 page. Maybe it's keeping your room clean. Just put one thing back where it belongs. 1 shirt. 1 book. Maybe it's learning an instrument. Just pick it up and play for 1 minute. Do it just to feel what it's like to win. To end your day with a small, undeniable victory. Because that feeling is the seed of momentum. And momentum, built one tiny step at a time, is the most powerful force for change in the universe. You don't need to conquer the mountain tomorrow. All you have to do is take the first step today. That was a deep dive into the core ideas of Mini Habits by Stephen Guise. We've journeyed through the main concepts today, but I'll be perfectly honest with you. A summary can only ever be a map. The real treasure is found when you walk the path yourself. The true magic happens in the quiet moments of reading, when a particular story or a simple phrase connects with you in a way you didn't expect. This overview is designed to help you see if this book's journey is one you want to take. If anything we've talked about has sparked something in you, I encourage you to grab a copy. Reading it isn't just about learning a new technique, it's an experience that can fundamentally change the way you approach your goals in your life. The link to the book is in the description below. Also, if you found this exploration valuable, I'd be so grateful if you could hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss our next journey into another life-changing book from the billionaire's bookshelf. Let's keep learning and growing together.